Hi folks. Let me turn this here in my chair here. Oh, the sun. The sun, the sun. Alright. Let's shift a little. Direct sun. That's a little bit better. So, today I got some planters. I don't know if you could see them. I remember I got those from a nursery in Connecticut a while back. So where I want to start this, I want to talk a little bit about the planting beds and the pots. Before I do, I want to mention something I saw on another YouTube channel, and a lot of you probably watch him. Pretty popular YouTuber, Danny from Deep South Homestead. So he did a video a week ago, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and he talked about faith-based homesteading, and that kind of struck a chord with me. So thinking about it, and everything we have in life comes from God. So, you know, shouldn't we honor him and glorify him with everything that we do? So that concept for me is one that I'm gonna apply to my life and my endeavors here. It's one that I've been trying to apply to my life. It's not always easy. Do the right thing, right? But the salvation is free, and it's a gift from the mercy of God. So this morning I was reading in Matthew about, you know, basically like, what are you worried about? You know, like, God's got it figured out. Doesn't he have food? I'm watching the birds fly around over here, these big hawks or something. Doesn't he have food for the birds? Doesn't he have, like, you know, aren't they warm? Or they know enough to go south or whatever? I guess this is south. But he builds into them the mechanism they need to survive. And they're not putting stuff in warehouses, right? They're not stockpiling like different stuff. What about clothes? They don't have clothes. And they're just out there, like, floating around, because they probably don't know. I'm sure they don't. God has got them in the palm of his hand. And so, you know, that leads me to look at the approach here. Okay, I'm a knucklehead, right? What do I know about this, like, growing stuff and maybe having animals and all this other crazy stuff, right? I'd like to do it. I want to be more self-sufficient, self-reliant. Am I going to do that on my own? No. I'm only here today because God gave me the strength to get out of bed this morning and saw fit for me to live another day. And so here I am. So I think that in the big picture type of thing, we need to give that back to God and say, you know, show me what you want me to do. Show me how I can make this work. And praise too, right? thank him for this, for everything he's given us. My wonderful wife. You can appreciate her more than when she's not here, you know. Everything she does, and it's tough without her. I thank God for her. Yeah, I like that, faith-based homesteading. So that, you know, going back to the birds, you know, like it says in Matthew, the birds of the, exactly how it's worded, basically the birds don't care about nothing. They don't worry about where their next meal's coming from tomorrow, or, you know, what's going to happen if this country elects somebody like Donald Trump to be president, or Hillary Clinton to be president. Like we, you know, 16 months ago, whatever, we were at a precipice, right? 36 months ago, we had choices. I don't want to go down this road again because it's long and it's beating a dead horse. But we had decent choices. We brought ourselves to the point where we gave forth the two choices to be Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. So kind of like knew it was pretty much over right then. But you know, we still have to prepare. So like that scripture in the Bible is telling us, like, you know, don't worry about anything. But really, they're talking about in like a different realm, I believe, right? Like, I'm not a Bible scholar, but they're talking about like big picture, like God saying, don't worry. Like the Bible even says, this earth, this life is but a vapor. You know, appeareth for a quick time and passes away. So when he's saying, like, look at the birds, they're not worrying about nothing. And we don't need to worry about anything either, right? As somebody who, you know, has accepted the salvation of Jesus Christ, I don't have anything to worry about. Does that mean a group of armed gunmen can't drive in a pickup truck and gun me down right now? No. So we want to be prepared for that. We want to do our part to extend that run as long as we can, our survival run. But if you make yourself right with God, then if that truck comes and you do your best to fight it out with them and you lose and get killed, you really have no worries at that point, right? So God's fulfilled his promise, right? I think the key is just trying every day to do the best we can, and waking up every day and just remembering to thank God for what we have every day, and to ask him to show me how to go forward, right? So okay, so today, that was my devotion this morning. Then today my plan was I want to build beds, and then of course I'm always struggling with cost, right, in the back of my mind of everything. So the soil here is clay, totally stinks. So I'll do raised beds and add compost and start adding it all up. It's like ka-ching, ka-ching. So out in back there's some like smaller trees, some cedars and stuff along the fence line in maybe 20 feet. And underneath the trees, right, the dirt's a little better. It's a little browner. And it makes sense because the trees drop everything, right? That decomposes. So like, it makes sense that you'd have better soil under the trees. So what I'm thinking of doing, so then I got onto this whole thing like, okay, I want to get wood for raised beds. I priced it out at Lowe's, you know, to make 4 10-foot, 4 foot by 10 foot, 4 foot by 8 foot, whatever. It would be like $500. Thinking like, oof. So I got all these pails, right? I got all these, I got from that nursery. Some of you might have seen that video. If not, you'll be seeing them because I'm bringing them out because I'm getting a little bit late start in the weather. I mean, it's a late start for everybody anyway because of the weather. But I got a lot of work to do inside. I'm not exactly sure how I want to lay the beds out in the garden and all that, and I still got to probably do a fence. So I'm thinking, at least initially, now things could change in the beginning of the summer or midsummer, and I could still want to do the beds. But I'm thinking, at least initially, I got enough of these tubs to pretty much probably grow anything I want the first year, if I have a realistic expectation of what the first year is going to bring. So, you know, I could say, oh yeah, I want to plant, you know, 18 million things, but really in reality's realm, what am I going to be able to take care of being by myself for most of the summer? Well, it's coming July, and then, you know, whatever. So that's all stuff I got to factor in. But I think at least initially today, because I'm not sure how much dirt I'm going to get out from behind the trees, because you go down a couple inches, it's clay, a few inches, so like, and I don't want huge holes there anyway, so I'm going to just try to scrape a little bit here and there. So I'm going to do that to offset the compost, because I'll put that stuff in the bottom of the buckets, and then I'll top it off with compost, thusly cutting the compost. Now in the beds I was going to put wood, almost like a hugelkultur, but I guess technically it's not a hugelkultur because the wood isn't underground, and it was just going to be a raised bed with some wood in the bottom. And I thought that, you know, just to cut down on the material needed, and that would rot and act as a sponge and give off nutrients the way they say the hugelkultur does, probably. So without really getting into that, it's just an efficient way to fill the bed, and it can be an experiment, so that won't be in any of the buckets, and it'll be the same soil pretty much, so we'll be able to kind of track that. But that's where I'm going today. I'm going to try to scrape some of that dirt. I'm going to try to fill some of these buckets and more maybe, and if all goes well, maybe I'll hitch the trailer up and go down and get the compost. I don't know if that'll be today or not, because when I do that, I also have to gather all the fuel cans. I don't know where they all are. And I mean, I kind of know where they are, but I got to go around and dig them all out. So I just don't know if I'm going to get to that today, because when I do that, I have to get fuel. I'll do it all in one run, so to make unnecessary trips into town. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm looking at the thermometer behind the camera. It's 62 degrees out. There's a mild breeze. The sun is shining. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. And, you know, going back to what we were saying before, faith-based homesteading, right? I thank God for this, you know, for everything. For giving me the health to be here, for making this beauty with the birds and flowers and stuff growing everywhere. Quiet, right? There's not a lot of traffic. There's not a lot of stuff that used to like set my fuse going a little bit, sorta, in suburban America. I guess it was suburban. Kind of a cross between urban and suburban. But I digress. So that's it. Thanks for coming. Again, today I'll probably show you along the way some of the processes that included in this video, and get it ready for the many-hour upload to YouTube. Thanks for watching. God bless you.